Hello, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are on the planet. My name is Maud André Lemieux. I'm glad to be here this morning with you to discuss about many things regarding your good start at HEC Montreal. So we'll be together for more or less an hour, I think, depending on your question, of course. But the presentation itself, it's more or less 45 minutes. So we'll take time to answer all your questions, of course, at the end of the presentation. So welcome again. We'll go through this presentation right away. So as I said, my name is Maud André Lemieux. I'm Student Services Coordinator at the Student at HEC Montréal. I'm sorry. I almost didn't take my first coffee. It's early here, and it's in English, so I beg you to be very comprehensive with me. I also have some colleagues with me to do in the chat, so they will be able to answer your question if you have any during the presentation or at the end. So you'll see your question box at the in your screen on the GoToWebinar small box. So we won't take any question out loud, but you can type every question you have. Please be precise in your questions. So and just ask them in just one block, so it's not necessary to tell us like hello enter and then another message, because we'll lose like your email or your message and the other messages. Of course, we'll go through a lot of information. So if you want to be very focused on the presentation and wait at the end of the presentation to ask your question, it's also okay, because we will take time at the end to read out loud some questions. So for the benefit of everyone, so you'll be able to hear either the question and my answer. So it can be a good way for you to stay until the end of the presentation. We will post on the activity the calendar of the back to school activities, the presentation and the PDF, because you will see that we have a lot of links that you will be able to click on when you will receive the presentation. So don't hesitate to go back on the back to school calendar to check to find out the presentation. So allow us maybe 1 or 2 days that will be able to upload the website, and then you will be able to find the presentation. So the webinar objectives, it's to talk to you about student services, so services are there for you. Also, we'll go through HEC tech and tools, so what you need to understand about HEC Online, Zone Cours, other useful tool that you will use during your of course during all your studies at HEC. The first step you need to do when you will arrive on campus, all other services offered to the student, and of course other useful information, and answer your question. So before starting, just an update on the teaching arrangement, for fall 2021. So you should have received an email on August 9th, so past Monday, in your HEC email address. So if you don't know, everyone here has an email address, so you need um, to go there and check out your email. We will see the procedure how to connect your email and everything, but you should have received this email. So go back in your HEC email address if you didn't went first. The summary of this email was that all the courses will be teach face-to-face without distancing for fall 2021 term. So meaning that we are waiting for you on campus as soon as you can arrive in Montreal. Of course, we do know that it's not possible for some of our students, so that's the reason why we can put in place some accommodation for you. So there are two possibilities if you want accommodation. It's either because you have a medical condition and you have a supporting evidence that can prove this medical condition. So a doctor bill, for example, that you will need to submit with your application. And of course, for the international student unable to travel to Canada, the study permit is not received or the flight are suspended. We know that a lot of students are in this situation, so that's the reason why they can ask for accommodation. The request will be reviewed and approved by a committee. But if you are outside, for example, Canada, and you cannot enter, the decision will be positive, of course. But everyone need to ask for an accommodation. So the procedure, if you want to receive accommodation, is that you need to go on help.hec.ca. So normally, if you click here, you'll see it's aid.hec.ca. You'll find this form here, and you just need to click on this concern my presence on campus, and you'll be able to fill out all the fields and then enter your message like I cannot come to Canada because I'm still waiting for my study permit, for example, or I cannot come on campus because my medical condition, blah blah blah. And then you can submit your request, and it will be reviewed by a committee. So it's quite easy, but everybody need to do it as soon as they can. And then afterwards, the teacher will communicate with the student to explain how they will accommodate the student. So some example of invalid reason: I have moved or live outside Montreal. My schedule does not allow me to go to class, for example, because I'm working. So you absolutely need to have good reason to ask for accommodation. But don't be worried. Every teacher has received an email explaining that if they have international student or student who ask for accommodation in their class, they need to accommodate the student. So they will choose how they accommodate the student, but you will have accommodation, of course, if you cannot come to Montreal. So if we start the presentation, so regarding student services, we are there for you throughout your study. So meaning that I'm here with you this morning, and I was there, of course, with your if maybe we already met in another webinar earlier in May or June. So I'm there from the beginning to the last day of your studies to let's say for international students, and help them with their post-graduation work permit. And my colleague from the student life who are working with to give you your diploma. So we are there until the end of your studies. So student life, it's my department. So we are divided in 6 sectors or department. So student life, it's where I work. So we work with for everything related to the student life at HEC. For your student committee, association, what's going on regarding activities, welcoming activities, but also the activities are going on during the year long. So we give support to the student committee, and we make sure that all activities are correctly given and supported. We also have a department for financial aid and scholarship. So if you have access to the government financial aid, or if you want to apply for some scholarship during your studies, so we can help you go through all the paperwork and stuff like this if you need. We also offer psychological support. So we have I think more 3 or 4 maybe psychologists. I'm sorry, it's move a lot, but we do have a good teams of psychologists who are there to support you. So it's very fast, confidential, and free. If you want to see someone to talk whatever about your personal reason or academic reason, if you need a small help or bigger help, they are there to help you. And if needed, they will transfer your file to another from outside campus, but with a very good price for you, and you'll be able to continue to see someone who can help you with the problem that you have. So you really, there is no reason you don't see someone if you feel that you need to talk with someone. Everybody in this teams is there to help you. We also have advisors for students with disability. So it's very important, if you have a disability, that you make an appointment as soon as possible with our advisors, because they will be able to do a customized support plan for you. So they need to explain to your teacher with all the organization at HEC to be sure that you have the right accommodation for you. So it's important that you make the appointment as soon as possible, not just before your first exam, for example, because you won't be able to get this support if the exam is the next day, for example. So it takes time to arrange everything with the teacher and then and the school, so you need to go as soon as possible. Of course, I work with international students, so everything related with immigration, permanent residency, working in Canada. So you can just drop by the office, or and either me or my colleague Mathieu, or sometimes Stephanie, will be able to help you go through your immigration pathways in Canada. So you have your academic pathways, and you have also your immigration pathways. So we are there to help you that both pathways are going well. Of course, right now we are facing a lot of issues with Immigration Canada, and we do have a lot of emails, so we are doing our best to answer them. So don't be shocked if you send us email and we didn't answer. We are doing our best to answer everybody. But normally it's quite fluent, and we answer like in 1 or 2 working days, and you can join us to the Zoom meeting or drop by the office, because we will be on campus too. So all the services are coming back on campus. So if you are here on campus too, you'll be able to navigate in these services and find the support you need. We also have study and learning support advisors who are working on your wellness at school. So to manage your stress, the anxiety, or giving you good tips to success in your studies. So as you can see, we covered a lot of your life. You a lot of aspect in your life. So if you have any trouble, just knock at the door at Student Services, and we work with everybody at school. It's a small school, so we know each other quite well. So it's easy for us to just sometimes make a phone call and understand well your situation, and be sure that we give you good advice, and then that you are able to continue your studies with a good support. So don't hesitate to knock at the door. Yeah, a little bit more regarding financial aid and scholarship. I won't be long on that slide, but just to tell you that we do have a lot of scholarship and stuff. So especially for master student who are probably listening to us this morning, you have an advisor. You have a lot of we will receive a lot of information, but if you can click on more information there, you'll be able to find out a lot of information regarding scholarships available at HEC. So our tech and tools. So you have received one HEC ID number, so which is your student number basically, and your password. So these two information will be very useful when you want to connect with HEC en ligne, Zone Cours, Zoom, Teams, a lot of other services at school. You'll need your student ID and your password. If you haven't changed your password, I recommend you do so, because just to avoid any security problem, and to be sure that you won't face bug and stuff like this. So just change your password. It will be done. Memorize it, and you will anyway memorize it very fast, because you will use our tools often during the first week and during your study. So this ID will be good to connect you on HEC en ligne, Zone Cours and Zoom, email and agenda and Teams. It will be useful also to reserve a study room and to sign up for My Career Portal. The useful tool, the popular tools, as you can see here, you just type hec.ca and then the popular tool will be at your right. So you just have access very fast whenever you want. And if you want to reserve a study room, you can go directly in Zone Cours or quick link, it will appear and then you reserve a study room. We do have a lot of study rooms that are very popular with the student, especially just before exam or during busy time for study and doing teamwork. So you need to take you need to reserve in advance your spot if you want to be sure that you can have the room you want with to be able to work with your colleague or just to study very quietly. So there are study room in the cell building and in Côte Sainte-Catherine. So you should find a study room if you want one. So HEC en ligne. So we go through the tool more or less one-to-one. So first HEC en ligne. HEC en ligne, you will not use it like every day, but you will use it quite often. It's very important, especially regarding all your classes and academic progress and all official documents. So it's more an academic, like not academic, administrative tool. So of course, every time you need to enroll or withdraw or check your schedule and drop class, it will be on HEC en ligne. So you have probably been through HEC en ligne for your course's choice, but you will go back to HEC en ligne, for example, if you want academic records, if you want to check your tuition fees, so your invoice, and if you want to manage that, your profile, so to check your personal information, and please update your emergency contact. It's very important for us to have someone to contact in case of an emergency. It's also there that you'll be able to submit all your documents. For example, if we do have international student with us today, your CQ, your study permit, your passport. For the others, if you have anything in your condition admission letter, for example, conditional admission letter that you need to submit to the registrar's office, it will be done through HEC en ligne. You can also have some tasks to do. So if you have small numbers that have in a red dot that appear on your HEC en ligne, so it means that you have something to do to be sure that your file is okay with the school. HEC en ligne will be also used to reserve a locker and to do your OPUS card. OPUS, it's the transportation public card. We will go through this information later on the presentation. So HEC en ligne, maybe one or twice a week, and sometimes during the semester, for example, when teacher will post the grade, you'll have to open HEC en ligne to see your grade. So you'll use it a little bit more at the beginning of each semester and then a little bit during the semester. So here's what look HEC en ligne. So I think it's quite user friendly as we say. So you see service and tools and tasks. So if you have here, there is no current task, but if there is a task, you will see a small red dot appear here. So I strongly suggest you go on each tiles and just to check what is in each tile, and just to be sure you understand everything. So small word regarding your course. So if you go on HEC en ligne and then you want to check your class, there is two ways to view your class, either by class or by date. So if you click on by class, you'll see your course's title, and then that you are enrolled, and then all the meeting dates. So when your class will be will take place and when. So days, time, so you need to be sure that you know every classes for every week. And of course you'll find the building and the room. For now, I'm sorry, we didn't add the a new um, sprint screen. So you can see that the class is virtual, but you will find the building and the room. So you might know that we have two buildings, Côte Sainte-Catherine building, which is the main building, and the Cell building. You might have classes in both buildings, so you need to check first in which building and then in which room the class will take place. If you go by date, you can see more or less week per week. So it's just another way to see your calendar. So for each class, you'll have exam, probably. It's not necessary, but normally you have at least one midterm or one final. Sometimes you have both. So it's important that you check the midterm and the final date and schedule. Why? Because it will never be the same day and hour than your regular class. So for example, you can have your class on Wednesday at 8:30, for example, and your exam will be on Saturday from 1:30 to 4:30, okay, for the same class. So you need to be sure you check carefully the date, the day, the schedule, the building, and the room, because all this can be different than your regular class. Yes, we do have exam on Saturdays and Sundays at HEC. Yes, we do have exam at night, not at night, but in the evening. So be careful about that. Of course, at the left of the screen, you can see that you can drop and swap classes right here. So that was it for HEC en ligne. So regarding Zone Cours, it's a very useful tool that you will use daily. It's very a daily use tool. Why? Because you'll find everything regarding your own classes. So that in the details. So for course description, the plan for each course meeting, communication, you will be able to communicate with your professor, with your teammate. You'll find the learning material. It's on that platform that you'll submit your work and quizzes. You'll have a very good overview with a calendar. You have access to other resources and tools right away. For example, if you want to reserve a study room, if you want to have access to the library. So everything is done directly through ZoneCo. So ZoneCo look like this. So you always have the possibility to arrange your own ZoneCo. So for example, here we see that the student here has a lot of classes, but you can choose what you want to see appear in Zone Core or not. So I suggest you go in each semester, you just unclick or click what classes you want to see on your screen. So for example, here we took the course operation management. So for each classes, you'll see at the left, you will able to do the tests and quizzes, the assignment, the forum, and then if you click on the class, you'll have the presentation, contact information, learning material, evaluation. So you'll be able to see what kind of evaluation you have in this class. So do you have just a midterm and a final, or you have other assignments, you have quizzes, you have presentation, oral presentation, teamwork. So the courses outline is very important and good to check. Oh, I'm sorry, this is not translated. I thought I did it yesterday, but the sentence you see in French is the courses outline is normally available at least 1 week before the first class. So it's normal if you don't have the courses plan right now. Some teachers are take more time to upload it in their zone course. So, but you'll have it at least 1 week normally before the class start. Learning material. So it's important to check if you have a mandatory book to purchase. So normally you can have it at the library or at the co-op bookstore. I will come back to the co-op bookstore later on the presentation, but you can find all the book directly at HEC, either virtual version or electronic ebook or paper book at the library. And what is very nice in the courses outline is that you can check every classes, like for example, week 1, class 1, you will see what you need to do for this class. So here we have chosen the class 5, week 5. So you see that you have activities and resources before the session, activities and resources during the session, and then activities and resources after the session. So if you follow very well these for every class you have, you should keep track on all you need to do and be on time for everything. So for example, here they had to do chapter 4 and chapter 5. And during the session, teacher can post their PowerPoint they use for the class. So you can either print them or take note on them or just like keep them to review for your exam. And sometimes they do have exercise to propose. So sometimes you need to do the exercise during the session. So it's good that you check this before you arrive in class, so you are sure that you have everything in hand to participate in class. And then sometimes you have activities to do after the session. So for example, here they had to review the problem, and sometimes they will come back on the next class on this exercise. So as I said, if you follow everything you need to do for each class, you'll be totally in control of your studies. So that was it regarding zone core. And just one other, I just wanted to check. So it's also here that you will be able to connect directly to Teams or Studio Yuja, another tool that teacher can use if they do some remote class. And it's also here that you'll have access to library and reserve study room. It's not written there, but you'll check in your zone core. Email and calendar. So as I said at the beginning of the presentation, everybody has a student HEC email address. So it's either your student number at hec.ca or your first name dot last name at hec.ca. So you can have the Outlook application on your phone, or you can access it online. The email can be stored on the HEC server, but you can also redirect them to another personal email address. Whatever you want. The important information to retain here is that you need to consult your HEC email address. Why? Because starting August 30th, everyone will communicate just with this email address to you. So teacher, teammate, if they have some changes to do with the registrar's office, for example, newsletter from student services, scholarship available for you. So you will miss a lot of important information, career management services. So you'll miss a lot of important information if you don't check your email, your HEC email address. So it's very important you either take the habit to consult your email or just to redirect to your personal email address. So if you want to see how you do the configuration of your email address, you just click on more information here. So with your username and your password, you also have access to My Career, which can be very important for you to just check the portal and add all your details, and then you can receive some internship offers or job offers. You can, and My Career portal, it's very also, you can access to all the workshop they do. So just take advantage of it whenever you will be ready, but know that if you just want to do right now all your profile, you can do it and then it's done. And when you'll need their help, they will be there. So that was it for our tools regarding first steps and campus life. So I'll go on internet again, just to show you where you can find the information. So I'll switch in English. So my HEC Montreal, everybody here is a student because you are admitted and probably registered to school. So you click on student, and then you'll have campus life here, which is very nice to know, because all information I'll go through today, you'll find out the details of it here. So for example, your student card, lockers, transportation, housing, health insurance, international student, culture, sports and hobbies. So you'll have a lot of good information to start on campus, to start well your studies at HEC. Of course, I take the opportunities that I'm on internet right now to talk to you about also support and resources. So more the student services and other like services for you, and to talk to you about the calendar, so academic calendar and deadline, which is good too. So you switch to fall 2021, so you'll see all the important dates that we talk about during the presentation. So HEC.ca, I know it's a little bit like maybe overwhelmed when you just click on it and you don't know how to click, but be sure that just going through this, you'll find a lot of very important information. And of course, Zone Info Online, which is our like we concentrate all the information there, and if you want to email someone at school, you can just click there and then the email will find its way to the right person. So take advantage of the website. I think you'll find a lot of important information. Oh my god, I just did what I didn't want to do. Doesn't important. Okay, it's not important. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so tuition fees. So your entire payment need to be done before September 16, 2021. It's very important. We don't have payment plan, so the total amount need to be at zero on September 16. If not, we will lock out your HEC en ligne and you'll have some fees add to your due. So it's important you pay everything before September 16. So payment method, you can go on internet or by phone through your Canadian bank. We do have another new system for international students with this CIBC bank. So you just check on internet and you'll find the information. Of course, by money transfer, you can also pay your tuition fees. We do not accept credit card and cash at the information counter. It's not possible either to pay cash. So it's very the best. It's by internet or with the money transfer or the CIBC bank for international students. Speaking of tuition fees, you know that you can add and withdraw from class at the beginning of your class. So before, if you do some changes before September 13, we will accept your withdraw and we will refund the course, and the course will disappear of your transcript. So for example, if you withdraw from a course today, your bill will be adjusted and it will disappear on your transcript. So you have until September 13 to do that. If you withdraw from September 13 to November 16, so during this period, you will not be refunded, and the course will still appear on your transcript, but you will have a AB, like just withdraw from the class. So you won't have any like grades or stuff, but the course will remain on your transcript, but it won't affect your GPA. It won't affect anything. Just like it's say that you follow the class quite long, enough longer to still have the class appear on your transcript, but you won't have any grade attached to this class. You will be able to take the class again in another semester. So basically, until November 16, you can just withdraw from classes. But if you do that after November 16, you will have a failing grade automatically. So either if you just don't show up to the exam or you fail the exam, you won't be able to withdraw from the class. You'll have a bad grade, and this can have a huge impact on your GPA and the continue of your study. So it's important that after your midterm, you just check it out. Am I okay with that class? And maybe I should just drop the class instead of failing it. So you can always consult your advisor or your professor just to check what do you think? What is the best for me? Can I still like succeed in the class, or it's better that I drop the class? So we are here to help you. And for international students, it's very important before you do that kind of move, you just check if it will have an impact on your study permit, because you know, as a international student, you need to be full-time student. So if you drop a lot of courses, or if you fail a lot of courses, it can have an impact on the renewal of your study permit or your post-graduation work permit. So it's very important before you do that kind of move, just check with your advisors, with the student services, with your professors, just to be sure that it will be okay. These dates are the general date for everyone. If you have like special classes, or for example, we do have classes given on each Sunday, so for all day long, these course might have other specific schedule and other specific deadline to drop, add, and do some changes. So these dates are the general, but if you want to be sure you have the right date for all your courses, you need to check on HEC en ligne for each courses what are the dates to drop or add or switch or swap, whatever, have a refund or not. So just double check on HEC en ligne. So lockers, if you want to reserve a locker, for now it might like sound a little bit like why I want a locker, but you'll see during winter and when you will carry a lot of book, lockers are quite useful. So we do have some in Côte Sainte-Catherine and Dessel building. If you want to reserve a large space, you need to be 2 full-time students and reserve it on HEC en ligne. Or what you can do, and I think a lot of students do, you just bring your own padlock, and then you choose a small locker, and then it's probably enough to put your book. But during winter, if you want to let your clothes and boots there, you'll need probably a larger locker. So just check with your teammate if you want to reserve a locker on HEC en ligne. Student card. So it will be mandatory for everyone who will be on campus. Of course, if you are abroad, it's not mandatory. You will have another procedure. Okay, if you cannot come on campus, you'll have another procedure. We will communicate with you by email. But normally, if you come to HEC, you'll need your student card. If you come on August 23rd and 24, you'll be able to go to the library to do your student card. So you'll be able to visit the library, the library, sorry. So you will be able to visit the library at the same time. Or you can also come on August 30th and 31st to do your student card. If you cannot come these dates, you will be able to do it after September 8th at the Co-op HEC Montréal bookstore in the Côte Sainte-Catherine building during the regular business hour. So don't don't be worried about that. You'll be able to do your student card. And if you cannot come on campus, don't worry either. You'll receive the procedure. With the student card, you can add on the other side of the card the co-op card. Co-op card it's a lifetime membership, costs $25, and then you'll get some reduction on the thing you purchase at the co-op. So for example, all your book, your HEC clothes, computers, other stuff that you can purchase at the co-op, you will receive a membership rabais. I'm sorry. Yeah, reduction. A price member price. At the co-op, you will also find all the learning materials you need. So the information to check what is mandatory or not, you'll check in Zone Cours as we've been through the courses plan. If the courses outline is still not on Zone Cours, you might check on the co-op website, and sometimes the teacher just add the mandatory book on the co-op website by the time they can add all the courses outline. So sometimes you'll find the mandatory book before the courses outline on the co-op website. So that can be a good way to purchase as soon as possible your the material you need for your class. But it's not, you need to check. Some teacher will ask you to have read like 1, 2, 3 chapters of the book, but sometimes you can also wait for the first class to be sure that the teacher explain the courses outline and everything. So it's really up to you. But anyway, you will need probably to wait from at least 1 week before the courses start to know all the material you need to purchase. Normally, the co-op also offer used book. So for now, with the COVID-19 situation, it's not possible. But we do have the Facebook group, which is in French, but you can post and of course buy in English. It's not managed by university, but it's an open Facebook group. So a lot of students just trade their book there. Administrative procedure. So international, I just remind you that for international student with a student visa, you need to submit your passport, your CQ, and your study permit, or the letter of approval if you cannot come to Canada. But as soon you come to Canada, your study permit need to be uploaded in HEC en ligne. With all these information, we will be able to adjust your tuition fees if it's applicable or not. But of course, we do need these 3 documents to seal your registration to HEC. If you are a permanent resident or a Canadian citizen, you just need to check your admission condition in HEC en ligne. So the tile that I shows you, if you have to upload something in HEC en ligne, then you need to do it, and your registration will be completed at school. So I let you read this slide. I won't go through it, but you have all the information on that slide. So regarding the complementary insurance, let me do a pause here because I think I just want to do something. I'm so sorry for that. Okay, that's good. I just wanted to be sure I'm here again. Okay, just wanted to double check something. So complementary insurance. I probably have a lot of international students in the room today. So you'll need to be covered by an insurance, mandatory insurance, either the insurance of the school, which is the Sun Life, or if you are exempt of the Sun Life, you need to have access to the Régie d'assurance maladie du Québec or the PAC CFE for French citizens. So probably most of you will have the Sun Life insurance, which cover the basic healthcare you might need to have in Quebec. Basic meaning if you need to go to the hospital, to see a doctor, to go to a clinic, to do some tests, some prescription drugs. So this is the basic healthcare that you'll need, and it will be 100% covered. With the Sun Life, you also have a travel insurance for 60 days, and you also have, for example, one exam with an optometrist per year, but it's a very basic insurance. If you need to, for example, change your glasses or see a dentist, it won't be covered by this insurance. That's the reason why your student association add complementary insurance to your tuition fees. So they have discussed with a company who offer good insurance, complementary insurance for student. So our responsibility at HEC is to be sure that our student, every student, either Quebec, Canadian, or international student, are covered for basic insurance. And then this is our responsibility. And then if you want more insurance, you can keep the insurance that your student committee has negotiate for you, or you can withdraw from it. So for non-international students, so this is a little bit like tricky and a lot of information, but if you are a non-international student or listening to me, you'll have dental and health complementary insurance automatically billed in your tuition fees. Okay, dental and health. If you want to see what is dental and health, what is the coverage, what is everything, you need to check the website, go to do your research by yourself and check if the product fits to you or not. And if not, you need to opt out by yourself. You need to withdraw from it or change the coverage from August 26 to September 16, 2021. So you need to do it by yourself. It's not HEC who will do something for you. It's your first homework. You need to check if the insurance is good for you, and if not, you need to just go there and opt out for this insurance. It's almost the same for international student, except that just the dental insurance will be added to your tuition fees. You won't have the health portion of the complementary insurance. You just have a dental insurance. You need to do the same thing. Check if it fits to you. If not, you need to opt out with the same date then the side that I just talked. Okay, so go on your tuition fees or go on your bill, check, go on the HEC website that you can find on the presentation, check if the product is okay for you, if you want to keep it or not, and then you just opt out and or just keep it. If you have access to the Régie Maladie la Régie d'assurance maladie du Québec, you can also add the health portion, but you need to call them and add the health portion. It won't be automatically billed in your tuition fees. So in summary, everybody here has a complementary insurance added in their tuition fees. Services are accessible uniquely in Quebec, okay, and sometimes the product is not good for you, or you just want to lose more money in insurance. So you need to decide if you opt out or you keep the insurance. Okay, our website is well done. You need to take time to read the information, take your decision. Why it's important to take your decision this term? It's because if you don't opt out for the insurance this fall term, you'll be automatically covered for the whole year, so you won't be able to opt out next winter. So it's a 1 year coverage. So you'll pay half during the fall semester and half during the winter, but you won't be able to opt out in winter. So you need to take the decision right now. So I hope it's clear. Regarding the OPUS card, so the public transit pass, as I said, you will need it to take the subway and the bus in Montreal. For full-time student, which is probably your case, you'll have access to the reduced monthly fare, which is very, very good for you. But to do so, you will need to do a picture. You need to do a special card. So there is one like card for everyone in Montreal. But if you are a full-time student and you can have access to the Ridosphere, you'll need to have a picture at the other side of your card. So to get the picture, there is two ways to do it. Either online with HEC en ligne, but starting at the end of August, and you need to have your student card done. And if you want to have the Opus Reduce earlier than end of August, you'll need to go to the STM Photo Studio, which is the studio photo of the company of the bus. So all the information is written on the website, but just to tell you, you have access to a monthly fare for a student if you want. Other services, uh, we do have a lot of service for you. We talked about the co-op, the student services, the registrar's office. We did talk a little bit about the library, but it's a very good resource for you. Just show up and ask the librarian to help you. They are super nice. They can help you navigate through the library, but also help you with your research. So it's people very nice to know. We do have um, oh my God, sustainable development, sustainable department, and also Centre de Formation en Langue des Affaires. They are taking care of the French class. If you want to be a buddy with someone and practice your French, and then you can help other to speak English or your mother tongue, for example. So they have a buddy system with that. You can take some French class, so they can help you also with your French if you need. So Centre de Formation en Langue des Affaires, and of course our IT department. They are very helpful with the student with their, especially during the if you need to do some classes remotely or if you have any trouble with your computer. Speaking about computer, we do recommend that you use not a Macintosh, not a Hubble product, because you'll need to use the Office suite Office, Microsoft Office. So if you manage well with your Mac, that's okay. But teacher can also ask you to add some tools, and they are they are not well support with Apple, so it's better that you don't use your Macintosh, but it's very up to you. We do have an agreement with University of Montreal Services for some of their services. So you can use the the Centre Sportif de l'Université de Montréal, which is the sports center of the University of Montreal. So it's free for the pool and courts and facilities. There is a good price for gym access and fitness classes. And you just need your student card or at least your student ID with the proof of registration. If you are a full-time student, depending on how many credit you have, you might need to pay a little bit because it's more their fees are based on other numbers of credit, but it will be cheap anyway. So it's almost free or free and with a good price for other facilities. We do have a on-campus medical clinic just in front of the SEPSUM. It's in French only, the website, but you can consult a doctor in English, no worry. So it can be a good resource too for you. A lot of cultural activities too. And we do have a squad of student services. We are building our squad right now because we changed a little bit the face of the squad, but they will offer other kind of activities different than your committee can offer. Speaking of your student association, oh, I'm so sorry, it's in French. I don't understand what happened with this presentation. It was all in English. I'm so sorry. I will change everything to be sure that you receive the old presentation in English. I'm sorry. So anyway, the basic information here is that every program has their own association, and you can be involved in a lot of committee. Just click on your student association, and then don't hesitate to contact them, to like their Facebook page, they follow them on Instagram. You will be sure you won't miss anything, and it's very important you just show up to some activities, to meet people and participate. I think it will be your student life will be better, and you will meet a lot of other students, especially if you are coming alone from your country and you don't know a lot of people. That's a good way to do some friend and to meet some people. So to be oriented, so for those who already came to Montreal or to HEC, I think it would be a little bit more easier. But when you will arrive here, of course, you'll see that it's not so complicated. We have 2 buildings. You need to walk 10 minutes. That's good. Even during winter, it's good. Small walk, fresh air. Or if you are too, I don't know, you don't want to walk, you can take the bus too. So you can have classes in both building, as I said. In Côte Sainte Catherine, the first floor is classroom and study room, and second floor it's the library completely. Third floor it's more computer labs, and fourth and fifth floor it's there that you will be able to meet all your the teaching services and program management. So your professors will have their office in the Côte Sainte Catherine building. And we do have a restaurant. We do have cafeterias, of course. If you want to eat like your breakfast and your lunch and your supper, your dinner, then you will find something to eat. But if you want to have a more chic experience, we do have the Cercle, which is our restaurant. The view is very nice. So you can reserve your spot there to have a breakfast or a lunch if you want. For now, it's closed because of COVID-19, but they will open again, I'm pretty sure. It's also divided in 4 sections: yellow, red, blue, and green, with the same as the sunset or sunrise, whatever. So the color are in each section. So it might be a little bit weird when you arrive first, but you just find your room, which is company name, for example, Bombardier or Procter & Gamble, a big company name, and then you just figure out where it is. Green section, okay, so you walk to the green section, and then you'll have a small plan to help you find your room. It's a little bit different in Decel because the classroom has Quebec city name, so you'll have a small geography course at the same time because you won't know the city name, but you'll find your way. It's not per color, but it's per section, and then you just find a room on the plan, and it's quite easy. What next? So familiarize yourself immediately with all the things we talk about today, especially HEC en ligne and zone cours. I strongly suggest you just go there. You try to find your course outline. You just check what you can do with this tool. Check out the back to school event calendar if you want to participate in other activities. We update it, I think, every day because it changed with the COVID, with the situation, and we add other activities, or we need um, to cancel some activities. But check it if you want to come on campus. We welcome students. We have kiosk outside with the students, so you can come to talk with students, to do guided tour. So don't hesitate to show up on campus when you arrive in Montreal. We will be there to help you find a place to stay, or just to talk with some students to help you navigate through HEC Montreal. Of course, the website is always a good resource, as I showed you earlier. And keep an eye on the situation hec.ca/COVID-19. So all the last communication are posted there, and if there is some change that you need to be aware of, it's written also there, especially for international students.